Hello everyone, welcome back. Today is day 28 of my journey to learn Japanese. And this series of live streams is all about documenting my progress at learning Japanese, having started as a complete beginner. And my goal for today is to continue expanding my Japanese vocabulary. Yesterday I was focusing on verbs. There were two lists of verbs that I was studying. And I think what I'll do for today is kind of go over them again and try and kind of consolidate the learning there. So today we're on the, as usual, on the Lingo Command website. And so if I go to the vocabulary section and I go to verbs 1, let's try and do the quiz for this list and try and get 100%. Now, for those of you that are new, just to kind of explain what we're looking at, we've got this table here, English in the left column and Japanese on the right column. So for example, to be temporary is iru. And if we want the pronunciation, we can just press this audio button.
いる
And of course, this is Romaji. This is basically Japanese using European alphabet, so it's kind of easy to read. But at a click of a button, we can toggle this so it's in hiragana and katakana. And we can also click here to view it as hiragana, katakana, and kanji. But for today's purpose, we're just going to go with hiragana and katakana. And if we go to the quiz section, this is now basically turning that table into a quiz. And if I press random ordering, that scrambles the order in which the questions are asked to kind of keep me on my toes. Because if you do a quiz long enough, you kind of get used to the order in which the questions are asked. So this random ordering kind of, like I mentioned earlier, kind of keeps you on your toes. The other thing is I'm going to try handwriting my answers, and I'm also going to turn on this setting. I'll explain later what that is. But to put on, so when we press here, we get this kind of handwriting component, this kind of Photoshop looking box in which we can handwrite our answers. And so let's get started with this quiz. So to put on is tricky. I'll come back to that one actually. Let's start here. To be permanent is aru. So that's going to be written like this. This is a, and this is ru. So that's a match. Fantastic. To know is shiru. So this is shi, and that's ru. Okay. To place is oku. So this is o. That's ku. To do is suru. Suru. To understand is rikai suru. So this is ri, the handwritten form, and then for ka, there we go. It's ka. That's another I. So this is rikai. And let's just zoom out to create a bit more space. Suru. To eat is taberu. So this is ta. This is he, but when you apply dakuten on top, that becomes be. And then this is ru. So this is taberu. And then to read is yomu. Yomu. So this is yo. But let's try and write that a little bit more neatly. So this is yo. And then mu looks like this. To give is ageru. So this is ke. When you apply dakuten on top, you get ge. And then this is ru. This one is iru. Iru. This is going to be shinjiru. So this is shi. This is n. And then if you write shi again, but you put dakuten on top, you get ji. And then we just need ru. So this is shinjiru. Shinjiru. To see is miru. like so. And to come is kuru. Kuru. This one is iu. So that's written like, almost went wrong there, like this. And then to make is tsukuru. Tsukuru. And that reminds me, so I think that first one is tsukeru. Very similar, but slightly different spelling. Tsukuru. But we'll come back to that one. So this one is hanasu, just to speak or to talk. So this is ha. This is na. And then this is su. To o is shi, na, keru, ba. Let's zoom out a little bit. So this is she. This is na. This is ke. And then re is written like so. And then this is ha. Apply dakuten on top to get ba. Let's try and write this dakuten a little bit more neatly. So this is shina kereba. Shina kereba. Fantastic. And then to be able to is dekiru. De. Ki. Ru. And to have is motsu. So it's mo. Mo is written like so. And this is tsu. To find is mitskeru. You don't really pronounce that U though, which I thought was interesting. Mitskeru. And then this one is neru. So ne looks like this, and then this is just the root that we've seen many times now. Fantastic. To want is hoshi. So ho is written like this. This is shi and this is i, so hoshi. To go is iku. And to call is yobu. Yo. So here we just write fu, apply dakuten on top to get bu, so it's yobu. And then to arrive is kuru. Kuru. And then that one here is just tsukeru. Like so. Okay, so we kind of did a speed run of verbs 1. The next one, this is going to be harder, but let's see how far we can get. So reapplying random ordering that scrambles the order in which the questions are asked. And so to study is benkyou suru. So this is he. When you apply dakuten on top, you get be. This is an n. And then here we're going to use a hiragana yun combination. So this is ki. And then this is yo. But this yo is half size, so this is pronounced kyo. Full-sized yu. Let's zoom out, create a bit more space for ourselves. And then we just put a suru. So this is benkyou suru. Benkyou suru. Great. To open. Come back to that one. Aruku is to walk. And to work is hataraku. So this is ha. That is ta. Let's try and write that a little bit more neatly. Hataraku. Great. And then to look for, so this is sagasu. So Let's try and write that a little bit more neatly. Sa. So this is ka. When you apply dakuten on top, you get ga. And then this is su. And then to wear clothes is ikiru. Ikiru. Ah, this is to live. It's annoying. I knew that. Ah, that's so silly. That's okay. To write is kaku. Kaku. To live, which is what I just wrote, so that's going to be ikiru. And even though I did this list like yesterday and the day before, I think it is useful because, you know, there's still some gaps here in my knowledge. So doing like one more round of this, I think, can do no harm. So this is ko, ta, and then we need an e. And then ru. So this is called tairu. Tairu. And then to think is so we had to know which was shiru on the verbs 1 list. But to think, I think it's omou. So this is o. This is mo. Then we just need one more u. Let's try and write that a little bit more neatly. So omou. There we go. And then to order is, so like to order a product is chu mon suru. So this is chi. This is yu, but it's half size. So this becomes not chi and yu, but chu, hiragana yun combination. And then we need another u. We have mo. Then we have n here. And then we just need suru. So this is chu mon suru. Chu mon suru. Fantastic. So to lose, as in the opposite of winning, is makeru. So ma is written like this. This is ke, and then this is ru. Makeru. Let's take a look. That's a match, that's a match, that's a match. Fantastic. Let's go to the next one. So to buy something, I think it's kau, like this. So this is how you'd write ka. That's how you write you. So this is kau. Fantastic, another match. And then to ask is ta zu ne ru. It's kind of long. So this is ta. And then that is su. But when you apply dakuten on top, we know that S goes to Z, right? So this su becomes a zu, which is what we need for tazuneru. So let's zoom out, create a bit more space for ourselves. And then here, that's ne. And this is ru. So this is tazuneru. Tazuneru. Another match. Fantastic. To sing. Oh, what was this again? I know this. It's utau, if I'm not mistaken. So this is u. This is ta, and then we just need one more u. So this is utau. Fantastic, another match. To dance is odoru. So this is O. And then here we just need to, because we know with dakuten T goes to D, right? So we just basically this to, if you add these two marks, the T becomes a D. So this is do. So this is O do. And then here we have the ru. So this is odoru. Fantastic. This one is, in my opinion, kind of easy to remember. Hashiru. So what is ha? Ha is written like this. You can draw that a little bit more neatly. This is shi. Now we just need a ru. So this is hashiru. Is that right? Hashiru. Yeah. Fantastic. To begin is ha ji meru. So this is ha. This is shi. Let's apply dakuten on top. So you now get ji. And then me is written like this. Let's try and draw that more neatly. What am I doing? 1, 2. And then this is ru. Hajimeru. And then to leave, as in to depart. Let's come back to that. To need is iru. Written like this. And to take is toru. So how do we write to? This is to. And this is ru. So this one is hakobu, I believe. So this is ha. And then ko is written like this. And then we just need fu. And then when you apply dakuten on top, fu becomes bu. So this is hakobu. Fantastic. So then this is tatsu. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's ta, and this is tsu. Job done. To ask for is the same as to ask. So same word in Japanese. So it's going to be ta, zu, ne, ru. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is su. Let's try and write that more neatly. And then this dakuten is required to make the su become zu. That's ne. Ru. Hazuneru. So now we just have 3 left. And it's starting to become a bit tricky because I think to close is tojiru. So this is to. And then this is shi. When you apply dakuten on top, it becomes ji. And then this is ru. So this is tojiru. Great. The question is, what is to open? To open, to open, to open. That's unfortunate. Nothing's coming to mind. Let's see. Akeru. That's annoying. So let's write that. We'll still consider it incorrect because I had to look. It's just these last two I was struggling with. And then to bring Same again. Let's see. Motte kuru. That's annoying. So there's something interesting going on here. So we have this mo written like, wait, like this. But then you don't just write te. Instead, you put a tsu, half size. This is called tsukon, which you basically don't pronounce. Then you write te, and basically this is like a pause, and then you place extra emphasis on the next hiragana. So it's not motte, it's motte. And then you write kuru like this. So it's motte kuru. If that makes sense. Motte kuru. I had to look for that one as well, so we're going to consider that incorrect. So this was kind of a silly mistake, but there were 3 that I genuinely didn't know. I think what I'll do is I'll select those 3, maybe even the one that was like a silly mistake. So this one, and then we had to close and to bring. And we'll just do a couple of rounds of this. So to open was motte kuru, right? So let's write that. 1, 2. So this is mo. Sukuon here, half size 2, so you don't pronounce that, but you then place extra emphasis on the te. This is ku, and this is ru. So this is motte kuru. What am I doing? Wrong again. Alright, it is what it is. To wear. So ikiru is to live. What we want is kiru. So this is ki. And this is ru. Finally, great. Here, this is the handwritten form of ki. You can see that gap here, whilst the typed version is just 1 stroke at the end. So this one is, what is the close? So is that tojiru? I would have thought so, but let's just see. Tojiru. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. And then to bring, so this one is motte kuru. So this is mo. Put the sukuon. Te here. This is ku, and this is ru. Great. So to open is the one I'm getting wrong. Akeru. But I'm wondering, was there another one that I previously got wrong? Let's just take another quick look. Let's look at Romaji, just so we can read a bit more quickly. Hajimaru. Yeah, okay, this all looks fine to me. I think, that was pretty decent, 88%. So I think the approach here is maybe in a couple of days I'll do another round for verb 2, because for verbs 1 I got 100%. So clearly, this is just a little bit more practice left here. But I think, what would be nice is be able to describe stuff. So a little bit random, but why not start learning some adjectives? So I've got a list here of regular adjectives, as opposed to irregular adjectives. That's another list. I guess later I'm going to go study and try and see the difference. But for now, it would just be nice to actually know these words. So I think what I'll do is I'll just start with the first 5. And so angry is okoteiru.
怒っている。
Okoteiru. Okay. This is iradatashi.
苛立たしい。
Iradatashi. It's good to also like copy the cadence, and let's just zoom in a little bit. So bad is warui.
悪い。
Warui. Okay. Busy is isogashi.
忙しい、
Okay. And then cheap is yosui.
安い、
Oh, this is ya, my bad. Yasi. Yasi. Um, okay. I literally spent like 1 minute studying this, but let's just try. So I think, was it bad? Was vari? So what we're going to do is we're going to handwrite our answers. Let's see. I think bad was something like vari. So va is written like this. And then ru, kind of familiar with this one now. We've seen it so many times. And then we just stick an I at the end. So this is vari. Great, that's one. What about annoy? I've got no idea. Let's take a look. Iradatashi. Okay, that's a long one. Thank you. Thank you for the support. So this was, what was this? This was ira da ta shi, but with two I's. So this is I, this is ra, and then ta is written like this, and we're going to apply dakuten on top. So we know when you apply dakuten, T goes to D, right? So this ta becomes da. Let's try and write that more neatly. Ira da, and then we just need to do it again, but not add the dakuten to get ta. Let's zoom out, create a bit more space. So this is she, and then this is I. So this is iradatashi. Let's see if that's correct. Iradatashi. Yeah, that's a match. Okay, great. So this was vari. Wait, let's write that more neatly. Vari. So this is va. This is ru. That's I. Wari. Now what is busy? No idea. Let's take a look. Isogashi. Okay. So let's try that. So busy was isogashi. And I think that was double I again. Sorry about the bad handwriting. So this is E. And then so. This was a bit of a tricky hiragana to write. So for ka, ga, we're just gonna write ka, and then apply dakuten on top to get ga. Then we have shi, and then we add another I. Isogashi. Okay, great. This is vari. Vari. And this is an approach that I really like to take is, by the way, I think, was it annoy or angry? That was aradata shi. I think it was annoy, you know? Aradata shi. But yeah, instead of, I think what I've noticed some people do is they like to kind of study over and over and over until they're sure they can get all the questions right. Whilst my approach is kind of like try and fail quick, you know? I don't mind if I make a mistake, but when you get that feedback, that's how you learn. So I don't spend too long like looking at the words. I just go straight to the quiz. Aradata shi. Iradata shi. Ah, so this is an E. We were close, but not quite. What is angry? Okoteru. Okoteru. Is that right? Okay. Okoteru. teru. So this is o. This is ko. And then we have sukon, followed by te, then I. So this is okoteiru, which is correct. And then was this what? Yasui. I think it was, you know? Yeah, great. Let's try all 5. So I'm gonna apply random ordering, kind of scramble the order in which the questions are asked. So this one is iradatashi. Ra. And then this is ta. And to make this become da, you apply dakuten on top. And then now we just gotta write it again, but no dakuten to get ta. And then this is kind of straightforward, right? This is shi. And then we just need one more I. Iradatashi. Iradatashi. Great. Iradatashi. So that's a match. Fantastic. Cheap is yasui. Yasui. So this is ya. Let's try and write that a little bit more neatly. And then this is su. And we just need this I here. And then bad. I said thank you earlier, but let me just type that. Thank you. So bad is wari. So this is va. And then ru, we've seen so many times. And then this is I, so this is wari. Great, another match. And then angry. So iradatashi was annoying. What's angry? Okoteiru, if I remember correctly. Okoteiru. So this is o. This is ko. And then we're gonna put a half size tsu here. And then te. And so this half size tsu is called tsukon. It's like a pause. And then you place extra emphasis on the hiragana that comes after. So this is okoteiru, right? So here we just need an I, and then ru. Okoteiru, fantastic. And then the last one, busy. What's busy? Because cheap was yasui. Then you had iradatashi, which is annoying. And then you had okoteiru, is angry. Wari is bad. So what's busy? That one is it's tricky, you know? Okoteiru wari iradatashi yashi. Yasui. What is this last one? Isogashi. I wasn't gonna get that one. Isogashi. So let's write that. This is so. This is ka. When you apply dakuten on top, you get ga. This is shi. Let's zoom out a little bit. Isogashi. Okay. So that's the first 5. That didn't go too bad. I think what I'll do now is I'll select another 5. So let's take a look. So we've added 5 more to our list of adjectives to learn. So cheap. Wait, which ones did we already have? We had angry, annoying, bad, busy, cheap. So clever is kashkoi.
賢い、賢い、
Kashkoi. Cold is tsumetai. Tsumetai.
冷たい、
Tsumetai. Suzushi is cool.
涼しい、
But is that cool as in temperature cool or cool as in slang? Like in English. So Suzushi meaning Japanese. Let's take a look. Okay. Cool as in refreshing. So that's good to know. Interesting. You know, I almost think it would be beneficial to put like a little dash and also have refreshing in here, because I think this is just a tad too ambiguous as it is right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin up a local copy of the website super briefly, like so. Suzushi. So if we go to vocabulary and then we go to regular adjectives, so here it says cool, but I can also put refreshing, right? So look here, if I now, if we look at this row, this is the code. If I save this code change and then refresh the page, we get cool/refreshing. So here we then also got to put refreshing as one of the allowed answers in English. The question is, do we want this space? Trying to see, are there even other cases where we're using this space? Because we kind of want a standard form here. So the other one is in brackets. Here we have to speak/talk. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Okay, fantastic. So what we'll do is I'll put fix adding more description to English word in vocab list. So we're just going to push that to the development version of the website, and then we're going to check out the production one and then merge the change from development. And now in 2 minutes, we should allow refreshing as one of the options. So going back to our list, cold is tsumetai.
冷たい、
Cool is suzushi.
涼しい、
This is mugakashi. Mugakashi.
難しい、
Oh, this is zu. What am I doing? Muzukashi. Okay. And then this is kitanai.
汚い、
Okay. So let's go to the quiz. I barely studied these last 5 words, but I think it's better to kind of just fail as quickly as possible and kind of go from there. So this was kitai something. So let's write that down. I think it was ki ta I kitanai. So there's a na here. So that's not a match. Okay. Bad was wari. So this is wari. And then ru is this. This is I. So this is wari. Fantastic. And then difficult. What's difficult? Muzukashi. I believe it was. So this is mu. This is zu. That's ka. Let's zoom out. And then we just add shi. Muzukashi. Fantastic. So annoy was iradatashi. It's kind of long. So this is I. This is ra. This is ta, and we can put dakuten on top to get da. And then this is ta. Let me just write shi. Iradatashi. Cheap was yasui. Ya. Sui. Cold was. What was that? Tsumetai. Tsumetai. This one was suzushi. Let's write that more neatly. Suzushi. So this is su. This is su again, and we apply dakuten to get zu. And we just put shi and one more I. Great, that's a match. Angry is. What is angry? O koteru. Is that angry? Okoteru. So this is o. This is ko. Then we need sukon followed by te to get this okoteru. On that pause here. So that's a perfect match. Fantastic. Now, what is clever? Kashkoi. 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 So this is ka. This is shi. And then we have ko. And this is I. So this is kashkoi. You don't pronounce this I. Let's actually look at the romaji. Yeah, okay. Now what was busy? Yasi was cheap. We had another one. Sagashi? Is that busy? This is sad. This is okay. That ga is disgusting. Let's try and fix that a little bit. So that is ga, which is just ka with dakuten on top. That is shi. That is I. Isogashi. It's not quite right. Okay. let's try cool. So cool is su, zu, shi. So this is su. And then we just write it again. And we apply dakuten on top, right? Because S goes to Z when you... So dakuten is those two dashes in the top right. So this is zu. And then this is shi, S-H-I. So that gives us that part, which just leaves us with the I. So, wait, I pressed undo one too many times. So this is suzushi. Suzushi. So that's a perfect match. Fantastic. Cheap is yasui, like this. Is that right? By the way, this U is a little bit unclear. So this is yasui. So ya would be written like this. This is su. That's I. Yasui. Okay, great. This one's a little bit long, right? I think it's ira da ta shi. Ira da da shi. So this is I. That's ra. And then for da, what we're gonna do is write, so this is ta, and then these two marks is called dakuten, right? When you do that, T goes to D. So this becomes a da. And then, sorry, I wasn't looking at the messages. Thank you. And so this is ta, shi, iradata shi, iradata shi. Okay, fantastic. Difficult is a good word for all of this. Mu, zu. Let's try and write this a little bit more neatly. Muzu ga shi. I think that's how you'd say difficult. And actually, I said thank you, but I'm not even quite sure what this means because you wrote ganbatte yo nai? Okay, because I remember ganbatte means like good luck, but I didn't know what this nai meant. So that's good to know. Thank you. So, mu. This is su. With dakuten on top, it becomes zu. Then we need ka. Let's zoom out a little bit. This is shi, and then we just need one more I. Muzukashi. Fantastic. Bad is wari. So that's va. That is ru. That's an I, so wari. Now we're getting to the tricky part. What is dirty? Dirty. No idea. Kitanai. Okay. Ki ta nai. So this is ki. That is ta. That is na. And we just need I. But I mean, of course, I looked at the answer, so we're going to consider that incorrect for now. Which leaves us with clever, which actually is coming back to me. I think it's kashkoi. Something like that. So you don't pronounce this I here. This is ka. Ka. This is shi. That is ko. There we go. Kashkoi. Kashkoi. Fantastic. That's a match. Angry. Okoteru. If I remember correctly. So this is o. This is ko. And then we're gonna use sukon. So this is a tsu that you don't pronounce. It's half-sized. And then when you write te, basically, because you don't pronounce this, it acts as like a pause. So it's not okote, it's okote, right? You wait and then you place extra emphasis here. Now we just need an I and then a ru. So this is okoteiru. Okoteiru. Cold is... I swear, you can also say samui. But I think it's looking for a different answer here. Wait. Tsumetai. Tsumetai. Yeah, because also we're looking at regular adjectives here. Perhaps samui is not one of them. So the one we're looking for here is tsumetai. Let's just Google that. Tsumetai. Used for objects, liquids, or sensations. It describes the temperature of tangible things. Or, okay, so you use it except for the weather. Interesting. So this was tsumetai. Tsu me tai. I looked at the answer, so we're going to consider that incorrect. Okay, so that was 7 out of 10. This is isogashi, tsumetai, and kitanai. I think what would be useful actually is if I select the ones that I got wrong. So we're going to skip the other ones. So I got cold wrong, tsumetai, which is cool. I got that one wrong. And kitanai. So now we're just focusing on the 3 that I got wrong. I'm just going to scramble the ordering and do a couple of rounds of this until it's kind of locked in. So this is tsumetai, tsumetai. Dirty is kitanai, like so. Ki, wow, that was really large. Let's tone that down a bit. Ki, ta, nai, kitanai, kitanai. Now, you may notice that I left a gap here. That's for the handwritten version of ki, which is what you can see here. This is the typed version. Just kind of wanted to point it out. And cool is... well, not suzushi, which is not one of the ones that I got wrong. But let's just write that. So this is su, this is zu, and then this is shi. Yeah, okay, great. And I'm just looking at the time. I think I might have to call an end to the live stream for today, unfortunately. But I think what I'll do tomorrow is maybe do another round of Verbs 2 for the quiz. See if I can get a higher grade than 88% there. And then I'm going to continue studying these regular adjectives, which I think will just kind of expand my vocabulary. You know, I think it's useful all around. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. That would really help support not only the channel, support me to continue making videos like this, but also it would support me in continuing to develop lingocommand.com. That's the website that we're using, as well as the accompanying iOS app, which is basically just the same thing, but in a mobile app format. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next live stream.